Hey, what's happening? It's Bill Smith. I want to take some time to talk about our break into the mainstream. I think now the game has changed a little bit. I need to change up what I'm doing. I'm thinking that we all need to make slight adjustments. We need to stay the course, but make small adjustments. So I'm going to cover that in this video. We're going to talk about what we can do as a group to be more effective and what it means for me going forward. So before I go any further, I kind of want to step back a little bit. It's going to be difficult for me to make quality videos going forward. I want to let this kind of run for a little bit and see where we end up. I want to make sure I don't get any more strikes. I don't want to violate terms of service or anything. But at the same time, I think it's time to hit another gear. So I'll keep making videos. I just might not make as many. I'm going to focus on core issues I think are important. So with that, moving on, today is August 2nd, 2018. Q post 1796 is out. It's the only one out today so far. It's like 9 a.m. Pacific time. So Q says, "Welcome to the mainstream. We knew this day would come." This is just a glimpse, and here's what to expect. So we got a glimpse of what we just got, and here's what's coming at us. So POTUS is going to make some Twitter comments, and you're going to see some stuff from liberal Democrats. There's fake news worldwide. There's going to be fake MAGA supporters now. There's going to be bandwagon shills. There's going to be paid shills from places like Media Matters. There's going to be intelligence infiltration, and they're going to disseminate negative information throughout the QAnon community. There's going to be MSM infiltration, disseminating negative information on the mainstream media. There's going to be a Twitter bot attack. So Twitter controls a bunch of, I don't know what DIR means, but fake accounts. Direct or fake accounts. Facebook, Twitter, etc. create massive amounts of fake user accounts for SP. And I don't know what SP is. Maybe that's for user growth and stuff. They are always cleaning off bots. So they remember when Justin Bieber lost 3 million subscribers or Twitter followers? So that kind of stuff. The whole platform, I can tell you this, most of it's fake. Everybody I know I talk to has 2 or 3 accounts already. So it's not that hard for Twitter to plug in a learning algorithm and talk to you. They already know how to do it, I'm sure they've been working on it. So it says check out their fake user growth percentage and their bot use, etc. All of this has been activated in the last 24 hours. Full attack mode, okay? Use brute force. Come with the sledgehammer and try to smash this thing down. And they're going to use a false, violent narrative push. And ask yourself why. Enjoy the show. So, I want to talk about some specific things. Now, if you've been around on Bill Smith's channel for a while, you know that I'm legit. You also know that I can be wrong, okay? And the moment I find out I'm wrong about something, I will tell you, because I want you to know. Because if I'm fooled, man, imagine how many other people were fooled. So I have a list of friends that I have fully vetted over the last 6 months, people I've been in contact with just like personally. So I'll release a list of people soon who I back. And if you want to get a glimpse of that, you can go check out my subscriptions and my trusted newsworthy channels on my channel guide. All right, now if you've looked at the internet search in the last 24 hours, there's like hundreds of articles. Washington Post, the Bezos Times in Washington has put out 4 monster articles about QAnon in the last 24 hours. 4. Okay? It's like we don't get mentioned forever. Drip feed here and there. Washington Post maybe mentions it in passing, right? Maybe. I don't even know if it was ever on the Washington Post, QAnon. And then out of nowhere, okay, there's suddenly an expert. All these journalists are all suddenly experts overnight, right? And now we have hundreds of mainstream articles, 4 on the Bezos Times in Washington, D.C. So, yeah. It's coordinated. They were ready for it. They were waiting for the linchpin to pull. I think Tom Hanks was the nail in the coffin. I think they linked in Isaac KAPPY. So I want to talk about that real quick. I think this is how we can be effective. So look, we broke the internet. This was a buildup over like 9 months. You know, QAnon went through stages. We already cleared out all the fake actor shills in our direct truth community, and now you're going to see a fresh wave of all these shills from different areas. Democrat sources are going to talk about it. They're going to spread disinfo. There's going to be fake MAGA people now. They're going to start on YouTube. You'll see all kinds of new channels pop up over the next week or two. And half of them are going to be wearing a MAGA shirt with a MAGA hat that says "Make America Great Again." And they're going to tell you the wrong stuff. So, Space Shot 76 is the only person on YouTube that I fully trust. So, most of you already watched Space Shot. He covers Q. He does a terrific job. Okay, he knows his stuff. He researches everything. As far as I'm concerned, there's nowhere where really else you can get better sourced information that is trustworthy to the core. Not to say something might not slip through, because I think that they're going to start leaking stuff on the chans, right? There's going to be all kinds of bad information get sent through the chans now. So you got to vet everything double, triple time now. The game will get harder. So I think what we should do is we should lean on the mainstream reports and say, look, here's what they reported, and then here's what I found. You know? So just counteract everything they do, and I think that's what we should do going forward. Also, I want to make this clear. The Isaac Kappy and the Sarah Ruth Ashcraft stuff, that happened on like the same day. Okay? Understand that. Kappy called out Spielberg, Green, and Green's wife, Clare, whatever her name is, among others. There's a huge list. They're all connected to Adult Swim and Cartoon Network. And Cartoon Network and Adina Pitt are the people who bought Rick and Morty from Justin Roiland and Channel 101 with Dan Harmon based on child pornography. Characters, child porn characters. And storylines. So, there's that. So I should probably write Cartoon Network. Actually, let me just write Rick and Morty. Because that's all on the same line, okay? This was Isaac Kappy's thing, and that's what they grouped on. And then this is Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks was Sarah Ruth Ashcraft. The mainstream media does not want to talk about Sarah Ruth Ashcraft. They will not discuss her, okay? Let me make that real apparent. And Sarah Ruth Ashcraft is the one who broke the internet, not Isaac Kappy. So I made some Isaac Kappy videos. I'll make a few more. But drop Sarah Ruth Ashcraft in a couple of your videos. You know, go check her out on Twitter. Just in passing, just mention her. You don't have to cover her in a whole video. Just say, here's a tweet from Sarah Ruth Ashcraft today. Okay, because the MSM does not want to talk about Sarah Ruth Ashcraft. S-R-A. They don't want to talk about it. They are demonizing. They are on a character assassination mission currently focused on Isaac Kappy. So the mainstream media doesn't want to talk about these things. They want to bury this quick. That's why I think that we should push these two things as much as possible. And we should link Isaac Kappy into Sarah Ruth Ashcraft in all of our conversations. Talk about both of them together. And bring up Rick and Morty. Okay, so that's one thing you can do if you want to be efficient and effective here. I think the other thing is that right down here it talks about, look, they're on full attack mode, brute force, right? They're not going to come at it surgically like we do, right? I put together concise storylines, or at least I try to. And everybody else tries to prove what they're talking about when they make these videos on YouTube. The mainstream media doesn't do that. They just say, blah, 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 this is what happened. Next, you know? Unless it's Michael Avenatti talking about Stormy Daniels, and then they'll discuss it 87 times in 2 days, you know? So we need to focus, just like they focus their storylines on places like Michael Avenatti, we need to focus our storylines into people like Isaac Kappy and Sarah Ruth Ashcraft, S-R-A. That's just what I think, okay? Do what you want. I'm not your boss here. But here's some stuff to talk about. They're going to push the violent narrative. They're going to say, this is dangerous, right? People talking about these ideas as dangerous. Then they're going to bring up the Pizzagate shooting. Every single time, watch it happen. Every single time, They're going to bring up the Pizzagate shooter. And I don't want to waste my time on it because there's enough stuff out there. Maybe I'll make a Pizzagate shooter video. But the guy has a criminal background. He was already working with the feds. He was working with the feds. He had a criminal background. He hit a kid in a crosswalk. He was working with the feds. The Pizzagate shooter was working with the feds. And the story goes that the single bullet that he fired, and he did fire one single bullet. I can verify that. I have not verified this part. The people say that the bullet went into the computer modem that supposedly the secret Pizzagate menu was hosted on, and it just so happened to kill the MAC address so they couldn't trace it back. So if this is true, if a single bullet went from this guy's gun into the computer modem, they will not be able to explain that. So what I'm saying is anytime they mention this guy, anytime they mention the Pizzagate shooter, you need to talk about his criminal background and the bullet into the computer modem, if this is true. But no, he didn't shoot anybody. He shot the floor or the wall or a computer. He had a criminal background. He was working with the feds. That's a Pizzagate shooter. All right, so not to beat a dead horse, I'm moving on. Why is it okay for actresses to get in on the Me Too campaign, but not normal average people with specific claims that have 50,000 Twitter followers now? Okay, that's Sarah Ruth Ashcraft again. Why is that okay? Why is it okay for actresses to do it, okay, but not normal women? You might want to talk about that a little bit. I'm not saying I have an opinion about it. I'm just saying it's a question that needs to be answered and explored in depth with possible, relations back to mainstream media. People like Tom Brokaw, places like NBC News that have a culture of intimidation about women speaking out about this. Why is it okay for actresses to do it, but not normal average women? And here's where I get to this. This is my last question. Okay, and I want to ask this to outlets like CNN and NBC News and Ben Collins, okay? Ben Collins, the guy that blocks people and then has a background on Twitter saying you're a coward if you block people. How funny is that? What a meme. My question to the mainstream media is, look, if QAnon is such a problem, why didn't you warn us sooner? Right? I mean, if this has been an ongoing danger and you've known about this for 6 months now, why didn't you tell us it was a problem? We could have put a stop to this months ago if there's a super danger of Pizzagate shootings. People taking pictures of Avenatti outside his office. Like, if there was this huge danger of independent journalists, doing independent journalism based on mainstream media reports and some anonymous posts that match up with them on 4chan, why didn't you warn us sooner? Why did you wait 6 months? Washington Post, Bezos Times. The Bezos Post knew about this 7 months ago. Okay, so these are some questions to ask. Now, if you want some bonus points, there are syllables that you can say in succession. Now, here's the thing. I can't say them. And if I can't say them, that means that you probably shouldn't say them either. But I can tell you that these syllables said in succession those 4 syllables are very, very naughty to talk about. Terrible. Terrible. You will lose your channel immediately if you say that stuff out loud. I'm just letting you know. Those 4 syllables put together, if you talk about it, if you discuss that stuff, you're out. Okay, you're out, which makes me think it's kryptonite. That's where it's at. That's the bad stuff, so tread lightly. That's all I'm saying. Now, if you have a hard time telling what the truth is, just come to MediaMatters.org. Whatever they say, it's the opposite. Okay? It's the opposite. And this is the site that is going to cover everything in depth. This is the David Brock website. Okay, so anything that is said here, this is ground level, defense against the truth. So whatever they say is the opposite. So when Media Matters say that Tom Hanks is facing baseless accusations, I'm guessing that there's something real there. It's my guess. NBC's Ben Collins. Media Matters, Opposite of what they say is the truth. Till next time, it's Bill Smith. Thanks for watching.